Today, I want to show you a Korean self-study method that many learners have used to start speaking Korean alone at home for free. And this is probably a method you have never heard before. It's not watching more K-dramas, it's not using more apps, it's not memorizing more vocabulary. But this is a method that actually helps learners start speaking Korean. Many Korean learners have the same problem. They study a lot, they watch videos, they memorize words, but when they try to speak, nothing comes out. They know the words, but they can't make sentences. They understand Korean, but they can't use it. I see this all the time as a Korean. Many learners tell me I understand Korean, but I can't speak. Some studied for years, but they still feel stuck. But after they started practicing with this method, they slowly began to speak Korean, little by little. They started making sentences, little by little. They started having conversations. So today, I want to show you a Korean self-study system you can do alone at home, without spending money. A simple method that can help you start speaking Korean. So how does it work? Let's begin. Here's the first tip. Study Korean with sentences, not just words. This is where many learners make their first mistake. They try to memorize vocabulary first, but speaking does not come from words. It comes from sentences. Because when you speak, you don't say "eat yesterday, you say "I ate yesterday." This is how language works, not word by word, but sentence by sentence. Your brain does not remember language as vocabulary. It remembers language as patterns. This is why children don't memorize word lists. They hear sentences again and again, and they copy them. That's how speaking develops. For example, many learners know this word, 먹다, to eat. But when I ask, how do you say I ate? Many cannot answer. Not because they don't know Korean, because they never practice sentences. But learners who practice sentences like 저 밥 먹었어요, 저 아직 안 먹었어요, 저 이미 먹었어요 start speaking faster because they are training speaking units, not knowledge. Honestly, this is also how I see learners improve the fastest. Not the ones who know the most words, but the ones who practice simple sentences daily. But there's one important rule. Don't start with difficult sentences. Start with easy ones, very easy ones. Because difficult does not build fluency, repetition does. So from now on, don't just collect vocabulary, collect sentences. Even one sentence a day is enough. But there's something even more important. Many learners study sentences, but they still cannot speak because they forgot one critical step. And this is tip number 2. Many learners do this. They study sentences, they understand them, they think, I know this. But when they try to speak, nothing comes out. Why? Because they only studied with their eyes, not with their mouth. Speaking is not knowledge. Speaking is muscle memory. If your mouth never practiced, it cannot move fast. This is why learners freeze. Not because Korean is hard, because their mouth is slow. I saw this many times. A learner knows this sentence. 저 한국 좋아해요. They understand it perfectly. But when I say it, they pause, they think, they translate, then slowly say it. But after saying it 10 times out loud, something changes. Speed increases, confidence increases, thinking decreases. This is not magic. This is training. Your brain learns language silently, but your mouth learns language out loud. If you want speaking, you must practice speaking. Not thinking, not watching, speaking. From now on, don't just read Korean, say Korean. Don't just understand sentences, speak sentences. Don't just watch study videos, use your voice, even quietly, even alone, even badly. It doesn't matter. Sound creates fluency. Try this simple rule. Learn one sentence, say it 5 times. Slow first, then faster, then naturally. That alone changes everything. Honestly, most learners skip this because it feels awkward, because it feels unnecessary. But this is exactly why progress is slow. But here is another problem. Many learners try speaking once, then stop, and nothing improves. Because speaking once is not training. And this leads to the next important tip, repetition. Here's something interesting. Many learners repeat, but still don't improve. Why? Because they repeat too little. Most learners do this. They learn a sentence, they say it once, maybe twice, then they move on. They think next. But speaking does not grow like that. Speaking grows from familiarity, and familiarity comes from repetition. You don't remember Korean because you saw it. You remember Korean because you saw it again and again and again. This is how fluency is built, not exposure. Repeated exposure. Think about song. Why can you sing it? Did you study? No. You heard it many times, without trying, without effort. just repetition. Language works the same way. Your brain has a rule: once information, 5 times recognition, 10 times familiarity, many times automatic. Speaking is automatic, not recognition. From now on, remember this. Don't study many sentences. Study one sentence many times. Don't chase new material. Repeat old material. Don't look for more content. Use the same content. This is what faster learners do. Try this. Pick one sentence, repeat it today, repeat it tomorrow, repeat it next week. This is how it becomes yours. Not by running more, by repeating more. Honestly, this is the part most learners avoid because repetition feels boring. But boring creates fluency. Exciting creates knowledge. Fluency comes from boring practice. But there is another mistake learners make. They try to repeat difficult Korean and they burn out because difficulty kills consistency. And this brings us to the next important tip. Start with easy Korean. Here is another mistake many learners make. They think if it's easy, it's not useful. So they try difficult Korean, long sentences, advanced grammar, fast conversations, and then they feel stuck. Why? Because difficulty does not build speaking. Comfort builds speaking. Fast speakers don't start with difficult Korean. They start with easy Korean and they master it. Simple sentences, simple patterns, simple conversations. Because fluency grows from comfort, not difficulty. For example, instead of learning, 제가 어제 친구랑 식당에서 밥을 먹었어요. Start with 저 밥 먹었어요. Much easier, much faster, much more repeatable. And this is what builds speaking. If something is too hard, you repeat less. If something is easy, you repeat more. And repetition builds fluency. So easier is actually faster. From now on, remember this. Don't practice difficult Korean. Practice usable Korean. Don't try impressive sentences. Try repeatable sentences. Don't try to sound smart. Try to sound comparable. Comfort creates speed. Speed creates confidence. Confidence creates speaking. Honestly, many learners slow themselves down because they want to learn Korean fast, so they choose hard material. But that makes progress slower. Simple is not slow. Simple is fast. But here is something even more important. Even if you study East Korean, even if you repeat, even if you speak, if the sentences are not real Korean, you still won't sound natural. And this leads to the next important tip. Learn real Korean expression. Here's something many learners don't realize. They study Korean, but not real Korean. They learn textbook Korean, perfect grammar, perfect sentences. But when they talk to Koreans, they get confused because real Korean sounds different. Native speakers don't speak like textbooks. They shorten sentences, they simplify words, they use patterns. For example, textbook Korean, 저는 그것을 하고 싶습니다. Real Korean, 저 그거 하고 싶어요. Much shorter, much more natural, much more usable. Many learners learn 안녕하십니까? But real conversation is 안녕하세요 or even 안녕. This is why learners sometimes understand lessons but don't understand conversations because they studied the formal Korean, not real Korean. If you run unnatural Korean, you cannot have natural conversations. If you run real Korean, speaking becomes easier because you're learning what people actually say, not what books explain. From now on, remember this. Don't just learn correct Korean. Learn usable Korean. Don't just learn grammar examples. Learn conversation examples. Don't just learn study Korean. Learn real Korean. Real Korean creates real conversations. Honestly, this is why some learners study for years but still sound unnatural because they learn Korean for tests, not for conversation. Most learners don't fail from lack of effort. They fail from lack of structure. So if you want, I organize a simple Korean self-study routine that connects all of these tips together, something you can follow along. If you want to see it, check the description below and pin the comment. Now here is the final tip, and this might be the most important one. Speak Korean by yourself. Yes, alone. Because many learners wait too long. They think, I will speak when I'm ready. But readiness never comes. Speaking creates readiness, not the opposite. Many learners think, I need a partner, I need a teacher, I need a Korean friend. But speaking practice does not start there. It starts with you, alone. Because speaking is not conversation first, it is production first. You must learn to produce Korean before you exchange Korean. Try something simple. Look around your room and say, 이거 뭐예요? 이거 책이에요. 이거 물이에요. Simple but powerful. because now you are using Korean, not just learning Korean. Try this daily. Talk about your day. Even simple. 저 지금 밥 먹어요. 저 지금 공부해요. 저 지금 쉬어요. This alone builds speaking ability. Because speaking is not knowledge, it is usage. Your brain changes when you produce language, not when you consume language. Input helps understanding. Output builds speaking. You need both. But most learners skip output. That's why speaking stays difficult. From now on, remember this. Don't wait to speak. Start speaking. Don't wait to be ready. Get ready by speaking. Don't wait for perfect Korean. Use simple Korean. Bad Korean improves. Silent Korean does not. Honestly, this feels strange at first. Talking alone feels awkward. But every fast learner does this. They don't wait. They practice, even alone. So now you know the real Korean self-study tips. Study sentences, speak out loud, repeat, start easy, learn real expressions, speak by yourself. This is how many learners start speaking Korean. Not from talent, not from expensive courses, from simple daily training. And remember, Korean is not learned by knowing more. It is learned by using more. See you in the next video.